If you don't know Afroman, you may know a song called Because I Got High. He sang that song. If you don't know that song either, don't worry about it too much. Afroman's a rapper with a problem. And that problem started when the Ohio police decided to raid his home a few years back. But the problem wasn't exactly the police searching Afroman's house, it's how they searched his house. And it started with them busting down his gate, coming in hot, full force. They said, whoa, let's go. And officer said, well, chief, I'm ready to go. What the search warrant say? What we going in for? The chief said, huh? Now, don't worry about that. You see, the search warrant was a little sketchy. And by a little sketchy, I mean really sketchy. So the police got a judge to sign off on an anonymous tip saying that Afroman was selling that stuff and he was taking people and locking them in his basement. Afroman don't have a basement. But what Afroman does have is cameras.
Folks, the Afroman do not have a basement on everything, bro.
Whole lot of cameras. The officers are slowly moving through the house. One of the officers spots something. I want you to look at his eyes. He spots the lemon pound cake that Afroman's mother made sitting out there in the kitchen. He said, they just gonna walk right past this? The officer starts helping himself to a bite. He said, He looked at the camera. He said, oh, chief, they got cameras up in here. The chief said, boy, I don't care. What does badge mean? It means protect and serve yourself a slice if you want to. You an officer of the law. You can do whatever you want. Officer Lemon Pound Cake said, oh yeah. Them boys start rummaging through the house.
You know how crazy it is, bro, to literally like go in somebody's crib, bro, and then take not only they stuff, their money and all that, but they mama's freshly made lemon pound cake, bro. It's freshly made. It's freshly made. Like certain things, bro, that's evil on a different level. That's a different type of evil.
House. They start taking money. They take $5,000. They said, let me put this in my pocket. They start kicking down doors, breaking doors, laughing, flipping off the cameras. Just in case though, an officer said, look, let me shut off the camera system though. Just cause, you know, we might be wilding up here. Let me shut this off. They shut off the camera system. The police don't find anything, of course, so they leave. Afroman.
Bro, ain't that wild though, that boy Afroman, bro? Cause dog, remember back in the day, bro, this dude was old back then. So this man is like in his 50s, 60s, bro, still dealing with police, still dealing with drama, still dealing with them issues. It just shows you people like, it just shows you, bro, like it don't ever end, for real, for real.
Droid house. He says, hey, yo. He looks at the cameras. He sees all that the police have done. He goes over to the police station and said, yo, are y'all gonna fix my stuff? Like, what happened? They, in a smug tone, said, look, we not authorized.
Oh, dripping, bro. Whoa, phone dripping. Yeah.
To fix nothing. Are you alone? Afroman said, absolutely not. I got the news and I got people outside with me. The news department was for show outside watching. The officer said, all right, what you want though? He said, first of all, I want my money back. The money that y'all stole. They said, man, I thought we shut those cameras off. How much do we take? The news crew said, we counted 5,000 on the video. The police officer said, first of all, nobody was talking to you. Second of all, we confiscated it because it was evidence. They bring Afroman $4,600. They said, here, damn. He said, where the other?
Bruh, why they try to run a wrinkle that way, Afro? They said, all right, bro, I'm going to give you back 45. Here. Whoa.
400. They said, you must have miscalculated. So Afroman takes the money, he leaves. He says, bad. So in his words, to raise money for the police's damages of his home, he starts making songs about the police. And they're pretty funny. He calls one officer, Officer Lemon Pound Cake. He just starts going in on all the officers, saying he's doing wild things to one of the dude's wives. And, you know, he just clowning them. Officer Lemon Pound Cake, we're actually going to call him Officer Lemon Pound Cake for the rest of the video. He walks in the office one day, everybody over there laughing. He said, what are everybody laughing about? They said, Officer Lemon Pound Cake, you got a case today. He said, Officer, what? He said people was actually calling him Officer Lemon Pound Cake, and people were making fun of him. So here's where things start to get wicked. The officers that were getting made fun of in Afroman songs, there was 7 of them mainly banded together and said, you're getting made fun of too? It's time to sue him. They decide to sue Afroman for defamation. Now,
Bro, can you even sue people for defamation like that when the stuff is actually like what you did with them is real? Like, if you actually did those things, can you really sue for that? Or is it just like, well, you can sue for anything for real, but like, do they actually have a case? Lawyers, let me know down in the comments for if they got a case for real.
need you to listen to this part closely. Defamation lawsuits are notoriously very, very hard to win because the United States never wants to mess with its core fundamental rights. And one of those core fundamental rights is freedom of speech. So for something to be considered defamation, one, the statement has to be a lie. We'll get to this in more detail in a moment. But two, if the statement's like a satirical comedy statement, then it's probably not going to be considered defamation when you're talking about a public figure. Think about South Park. You can't sue South Park because everybody knows it's comedy, right? Okay, boom, trial starts. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go well for the officers. Afroman's lawyer proceeds to dismantle them. He says, okay, officer, so in this song, Afroman says that he watched Netflix, if you don't know what that means, look in the comments, with your wife. Is that true? Did that happen? The officer says, I don't know. I don't know if that happened. And he gets like a little mad at his wife. He said, man, but like I was with her since middle school. Like I don't know if that happened though. Now that I think about it, like when he made the song, I was like, what? Nah, man. The lawyer is clearly a little confused. It was supposed to be just like a yes or no. It was like clearly Afroman didn't, but the lawyer like, so you don't know if Afroman watched Netflix with your wife? Is that what you're saying? Officer said, I don't know. Now the officer thought he was being slick here. He was trying to show that he doesn't know if Afroman, did something with his wife. So that's why he's so distressed and so hurt. But remember the rule. For defamation to count, the statement has to be false. You see, the officer clearly thinks that defamation means Afroman hurt my feelings and I want to sue him. Absolutely not. And remember, defamation has to be false, a false statement. So this officer
Bro, ain't that crazy, bro, how the law can be twisted and moved in so many different ways, bro. That's why I always tell people, bro, like you never know how deep or how crazy things can get. Because, bro, think about it. That's on a bigger level, bro. You never know how big or how small situations get. That's why you treat people the way that you felt you should be treated. Always.
coming out and saying, I don't know if this is a false statement already backfires on him. You know what I'm saying? Under freedom of speech in the United States, you could do the worst thing in the world to somebody. If it really happened, you can say it out loud and nobody can sue you for defamation because it's a true statement. That's just it. Flat out, we're done. So Afroman's lawyer looks at the officer and says, so you don't know if Afroman said a false statement or a true statement? Is that what you're trying to tell me? The officer said, Afroman said I was smoking that stuff in his song too, and I didn't do that. That was a lie. The lawyer said, okay, so that's what you're suing Afroman for, saying that you was on that stuff. Were you suing him for the wife thing, or what are you suing him for? The officer said, this guy pretty good, huh? This officer pulls up, starts crying. They start playing the whole song, Afroman talking crazy about her, and she just crying throughout the whole song. And they played the entire thing. She's everybody just staring at her. And as for Officer Lemon Poundcake here, Afroman's lawyer said, look, no offense, you're not the smallest guy. We not the smallest guy. You fat. Officer Lemon Poundcake started laughing too. He said, oh, no, we called him fat though. The lawyer said, yeah, now for real, like you believe, come on, like you don't believe everything like somebody says about, just because somebody say you fat, like come on, bro. And he said, yeah, I don't believe everything. The boy started flipping on him damn self. He said, man, yeah, I don't believe everything I hear, on the news and stuff. Afroman's lawyer said, so why you believe what Afroman said about you? Why are we here? He said, I didn't think he was gonna flip it like that. Okay, I see what happened here. The jury said not guilty. Their lawyer said, hold on, it's my turn. I call up Afroman to the stand. You think you can just say whatever you want about anybody? Afroman said, well, as a black man in America who felt powerless to do anything after they tore up my house, I decided to turn my bad times into good, try to make some money to fix my house because they wasn't paying for my house. The jury said, all right, we heard enough. Throw out the case, no defamation. Yes, Afroman takes the victory. This is Afroman's lawyer, by the way. Sad part is they still haven't paid Afroman for his house, and they will not be paying Afroman for destroying his house because they were under a search warrant and they can use as much force as possible, I guess.
And bro, like that's the thing, bro, is that these people don't really lose, bro. The most you can ever do, real, is just embarrass them and stop them from doing it again to other people, bro. Sometimes in this world, bro, that's all the good you can do. It's a real gray area, bro. But hey, shout out to that man, Afroman, handling business. That's real. Yeah.